FL Studio is one of the most popular DAWs in the producer community, but it's notoriously known for being bad for recording vocals. But with the release of FL Studio 21, a lot of things have changed, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys every new feature that's going to help you as an artist, an engineer, or even a producer looking to record vocals. So without any further ado, let's get straight into the video. All right, so obviously we're going to go over a bunch of the new features in FL Studio 21, but I think the first one we need to start with is that theme builder. So I know a lot of people have been asking for this for a while. I never really cared too much for it just because FL Studio kind of looked fine before, but it is kind of nice getting that dark mode. But to actually get into the theme settings, you're just going to click options right here and click theme settings, and it'll pull up this. There's a bunch of presets you could get, and then I think there's like a community tab you could do as well, or I don't know, maybe on the forums you can find other ones. But for now, it looks like there's about 11 presets you could pick up. Here's the default one, and now that I click that, it looks so weird to me now. You got this purple one. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, I guess it's pretty cool. Ash, I do not like this at all. Now this one's pretty cool. The dark orange. This is basically what I was using before, just not the orange style. I was using this dark one, and then I think I brought the brightness up just a tad bit, something like that. But if you use any one of these, man, you got some problems. But yeah, we're just gonna go use this dark one, and I'm just gonna adjust the brightness, bring it up like maybe here. The nice part is you can actually adjust each setting yourself, which is super cool. But yeah, so that's the theme editor in FL Studio now. And then for the rest of the things I want to show you, I'm just going to actually pull up a session and just start mixing some vocals to show you what it's actually like. But I am going to go over a few of the new VSTs that FL did introduce. So the first one that we're probably going to be using a lot as artists or engineers or whatever you are is this new reverb called Luxverb. Luxverb, but it really just looks like a nice reverb. I'm assuming it's actually going to sound pretty good. I have yet to test it out, but there's tons and tons of presets that you could use. And there's halls, there's a bunch of different vocal plates, and just a bunch of different stuff to mess with. So this is going to be super fun to mess with, and it's definitely going to sound good on some vocals. And then we have two other new plugins that they introduced, Vintage Chorus and Vintage Phaser. I think we're going to be using these a lot too. This Vintage Chorus looks really good. It looks like it's a model off of the Juno chorus that people use. Then there's also the phaser right here, which I've actually messed around with this a little bit. It sounds super good. So having this on vocals is definitely going to be good for some of those YEAT effects. And if you have that YEAT plugin, I'm going to make a few updates to that, and it'll be sent out to your email pretty soon. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And one more other thing I want to mention before we do jump into the project is the updates that they made to the browser. So the browser got way better. If you actually want to go to the forum and see what they did, you can see a lot. Obviously, it looks different, a little bit different up here. There is now a search tab, which is super nice. If I type in kick, tons and tons of different kicks you can find here. Another cool thing is you could actually, might have been a feature before, but you could favorite it, and you could also add tags to different sounds. So for example, if you wanted to tag like all your kicks, you can make a tag called kick, and then anytime you're looking for a kick, you could just go to that tag and find a kick. Or for example, if you did it with 808s, any sound. But then, of course, you also have the super cool part where you actually have the preview right here. And then you can control the volume right here and play it again. You could also set where you want it to start playing by holding shift and just clicking somewhere. So this would work nice for like samples and stuff. But yeah, that's a pretty cool part that they added to the browser. So now we're going to get into the cool part and basically why this is so much better for recording vocals in FL Studio. So basically what we're going to do is make this. So I have my mixing template that is available in the description below if you want to grab that. But I'm going to show you guys how to actually make something like this. So if I go to the template, I'll just show you guys what it looks like real quick. Okay, so here you go. You basically have this mixing template where, you know, you could drag your beat in right here, and it'll auto assign it to the mixer track. This is assigned to this mixer track right here, number 20. And then you have your other playlist channels that are routed as well. So like, for example, the hook is routed over to mixer track number 1. Then you also have your delays and your reverbs over here. Basically just makes it super easy for you to mix vocals. And I'm going to show you guys how to actually make something like this today and why the new FL Studio update actually makes it so much easier. All right, so here we go. We have a completely blank FL Studio template here. And first thing I'm going to do is just click this track 1. We're going to click F2 on our keyboard. We're going to name this beat, all caps, and then I'm just going to make this red. That's usually what I do with all my tracks. Then we right click this and we're going to go to track mode, audio track, and we're going to route this over to, let's just do insert. I usually do insert 20 just to keep it over there. And this actually auto named it. So what we're going to do is click F2 and name this beat. And then we're going to right click and go to dock to the left, just so it's docked over to the left now. And then a different way you could do this is if you want to do it from the actual mixer channel right here. So you could click, for example, say you want to do your hook or your main vocal. You can just click F2 on this again. We'll name it main. Let's color this blue. That's usually what I do for my main vocal. And then you could right click this and go assign to new audio tracks. And this should assign it right here perfectly, just how we want it. And then we could actually just get started on what we're going to do today. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually get my YEAT vocal preset here. So I'm just going to click this YEAT vocal and we're going to grab that. This did rename it, so now it's called vocals. It's not the main vocal anymore, but that doesn't matter too much. And then I'm going to go to mixer track number 10 here and we're going to click F2 again, and I'm going to name this reverb, and then we're just going to make this, let's make it green. I like that. Then I'm going to right click and go dock to right. So now we have a reverb docked over here. Then we're going to go to this channel right here, number 11. Click F2 again, name this delay, boom, and let's make this just like steel blue, I guess. And same thing, we're going to right click, go to dock to the right. Now we got our reverb and delay, and then we're just going to click this button right here to make sure that we actually have our reverb and delay on. But we're going to turn it all the way off for now just by pulling that knob all the way down. There we go. So now we have a main vocal set up with our reverb and delay. So now we need to actually get the reverb. And like I said, I want to try out that Lux reverb. So we're going to grab the Lux reverb right here. And I'm just going to apply some kind of hall preset right now, or actually probably some kind of plate. Go with vocal plate 1. And we're just going to bring that decay up to about 4 seconds because we're doing a YEAT vocal here and we do want a longer reverb. And then for the delay, we're not doing anything special. I'm just going to use H delay just because I like it a little bit better. This is probably one of the best waves delays you could get. For now, I'm just going to set it to a 4th. And I know I want this on ping pong. We're going to turn the feedback down a little bit. And we're just going to bring this high pass filter up a tad bit. And turn off the analog as well. Boom. So now we got our reverb, delay, and main vocal set up. So now what I'm going to do is actually drag the beat in. And like I said, I'm going to be doing a YEAT vocal for this one. And we're going to be doing YEAT's song, What It Feel Like. So we got the beat right here. Drag this in. Now we're going to get into FL Studio's new features. So for example, say you bring a beat in and you want the gain turned down a little bit. You never really used to do this in FL Studio unless you just turn the volume down like this, but you couldn't exactly see what you were doing. And I don't know about you, but I definitely like to have some kind of visual representation when I'm messing with my audio, just because it helps out a little bit. But for now, you could actually just click this knob right here and turn the gain down as much as you want, or as high as you want. But it's actually not clipping, so we could pretty much just leave it at 0. This is just one of those beats that turns out to be perfectly mixed. As always, this is an MP3, so I'm going to click S on my keyboard, zoom all the way in, hold Alt, and drag this silence out of the beginning just so we don't have any issues with timing. And then it looks like the BPM is about 130. Put my headphones on here so we could actually hear this. There we go. So now we're on time, and then we can move on to the next feature. So for example, say you wanted some kind of little fade in to your song right in the beginning. You want to fade the beat in. Well, another feature introduced into FL Studio is the quick fades and the cross fades. So for example, if you want to do a quick fade, you could just take this now and fade it as long as you want, short as you want. You could also mess with the tension of it, so it changes like the slope of how it fades in. And there's also smooth curve and just like a single curve like that. We'll just go with a smooth, but we don't even want to fade, so we're taking that out. Now let's move on to how to actually record vocals. So we're just going to use, so we're pretty much just staying in a playlist. That's the nice part about the FL Studio updates. It makes it so much quicker and easier. We can set our input. I'm going to make sure this records off so you can't hear us right now, but we also want to make sure it's set to external input only and monitor external input only when armed. So now we got to find the key of our beat, and if you don't have auto-tune, this might be a little bit harder for you. You're either going to have to look it up or use some kind of other app or just know the key of the beat. But I have auto key here, which is included with auto-tune, so we're just going to play it on the beat and see what it says. So it's saying E minor. I'm going to click send to auto-tune, and any open auto-tune I have in this session will automatically be set to E minor. As you can see, this auto-tune's set right to E minor. All right, now let's get recording. So what I'm going to do now is turn the gain down on my mic and then click this arm button right here, which is actually going to allow you to actually record vocals in FL Studio. Whatever track you're recording into has to be armed in order for it to actually record it. So as soon as I click this button, you're going to be able to hear me as well. So then we're going to set our reverb and our auto-tune. So let's turn the gain down. Now we can hear ourselves through the vocal. All right, so now to set our reverb, we have to click our actual, whatever track we want the reverb on, and then we're just going to slowly drag this knob up until it sounds right. Had to put up in a... That sounds good for now. Let's set our delay by bringing this knob up as well. Yeah. Hey. I'm gonna... All right, let's try and record some. All right, so I pulled up my template, which actually just added a few more tracks, but you already know how to make that now. Like I said, you could grab this down in the description below, but now we're just going to try and actually record it. So the first thing I actually want to do here is the ad-lib, so we're going to duplicate over this hook track and make it an ad-lib track. So all we got to do is right-click, File, Save Mix Track Slot As, go to the ad-libs right here, and then we're just going to rename it ad-libs. Boom. And we might as well recolor it as well, make it like purple or something. Then for the ad-libs, all we're really going to do here is we're going to add, let's add that vintage chorus. I'm going to take off this reverb, and then we're going to want a fruity stereo shaper. We're going to drag that in and just bring this delay knob up, and then we're going to switch over to the ad-lib track. Yeah, so now we're on the ad-lib track. As you can see, it sounds a lot different, but it'll be good for those like background vocals. So we're going to turn this chorus down a little bit, and then we're also going to pull out some of that low end. All right. Yeah. Also, if you want these effects without having to do all this stuff, you could also get the YEAT plugin, which just has it all built in. So you just add it to the mixer track. But yeah, let's actually record this. All right, so we're just going to duplicate that over a bunch. And I'm just going to kind of mix it up a little bit more now. So we're going to turn the volume down. Let's try this. That sounds about good. All right, so now we're just going to try and record the main part. So I'm going to pull up the lyrics right here. We're just going to see what we can do.
Think about this shit come down to real life. You gon' pop that perk, you buy that pill like. Stack that money so high, had this shit looking real nice. Tell me what it feel like. I wanna flood my red light. I wanna flood new coupe. I'm on the phone, my red eye. I couldn't even tell you the truth. Cause you want bad like pay. I say it up our ways. Some money, big money, small money. I got that bitch out the back of the leg. I can't even fuck with the same. They a motherfucking rat, they a motherfucking fake. Why they all trying to be into my business? I'm just trying to give me that bread. I don't give a fuck what they say. You a boy or a girl, get your letter on red.
All right, and then the next feature, which is like the coolest part that I wanted to show you, is I'm pretty sure this was included in the old versions of FL Studio, but say you go to record like something under the verse and you wanted to stack it, it'll like auto fade it. So let me just show you how that works.
I don't give a fuck what they say. You a boy or a girl, get your letter on red. I don't give a fuck what you say. You goddamn right. Hey.
All right, so we got this, and say you just wanted to put it up here, it should auto fade if it's not auto fading. All right, so for some reason this effect is not working right now. I'm gonna have to look into it, but usually it's supposed to auto crossfade. So for example, if it was like this, it would crossfade like this, and just it usually does it automatically, but for some reason it's not doing it right now. I must have messed with a setting, but it's just also super nice to actually have your fades that you could just move around like this. And you can also adjust the gain on your clips, make it super loud. Sounds something like this.
I don't give a shit what you say. You goddamn right.
Which is cool because you could just get like, you could get some cool like distorted effects out of that, which is nice. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't really think of anything off the bat. If I do think of something, I might include it in the comments. And if you guys find something that I missed, make sure you include that in the comments. But that's all I got for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. So deuces.